What's going on, guys? Trying to stream again. Not sure if this is gonna let me. It's super frustrating, but looks like it might be live. Let's see. I don't know what is going on with YouTube, man. I don't know what's going on with Restream. I don't know what's going on with everything today. If you guys are here, if anybody's here in chat, let me know what's up. Say what's up in chat so I know that I'm actually live. I can't tell anymore, man. I can't tell what's going on. It's not internet. It's not hardware. It's so frustrating when this stuff happens. Let's see. Trying to go live with you guys, but I can't really get a good feel for what's going on. Let's see. Are we back up? Are we actually back up here? I can't tell. Analytics show 0. I don't know. If you're here, what's up, bro? Welcome back to the show. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what's happening with streams. I can't wrap my head around it, man. Let's see. Can't tell. Yo, chat, if we're live, let me know. This is so stupidly frustrating. And I can't even trade because I'm trying to do this stuff, man. Oh, this stuff is so frustrating. Chat, technical issues, man, are gonna be the death of me. It's killing me this week. Oh, I can't even tell if I'm live. I honestly can't tell. If you guys are watching, I got short 49,793. I have to try to not do stupid stuff and leave trades running as everything is just disconnecting. But of course, you know, when I close out for a plus $400 as we're headed back down towards VWAP, because I can't manage, I'm not going to be able to close out where I want to if we start to see volatility. I don't want to run a fixed take profit. I don't want to go stop loss to break even quickly. I just go ahead and close out. Of course, the trade's going to be an absolute banger. I don't know, man. I don't know. Live streaming is a pain in the ass sometimes. Real pain in the ass sometimes. It's awesome. I love hanging out on here, and I don't want to be like complaining. Oh no, like he's trying to live stream and now he's complaining. But dude, it's so difficult to try to manage this stuff and actually trade like in prop firm live accounts. It's actually super frustrating. Man, chat, we're back. DG, Jordan, we're back. You cover that short? Yeah, we're back. Hey, what's up? What's up? Yeah, guys, if you're not in the Discord, just so you know, I try to always call out what's going on, like when stuff like that starts to happen. If I'm in a trade, I try to give you guys updates and info and stuff. Here is the link to the 100% free Discord. When the stream cuts out, I try to let you guys know what's going on. If I'm in a trade and, you know, something ridiculous like that is going on, I try to let you know. Here's the super frustrating part, since it looks like I'm back up. Did you guys hear that first part? I can't even tell how long I've been live for. I don't even know. Insane. Absolutely insane. Genuinely don't know what I could do differently about this. There we are, chat. Yeah, we're back. Super frustrating. Super duper frustrating. So here was my trade. Chat. Chatty McChat. We're gonna go and hit a take profit on this. Yeah, so for the record, I have what I would consider some of the best hardware. I'm a Mac guy myself. I have one of the newer, faster, spec'd out MacBook Pros. I have AT&T fiber network, the fastest internet that I can have to my house. I think I have 2,000 up and down gigabit speed. I'm hardwired in with the best connection. I have their best hardware. I pay a lot for all of that to happen. I pay for the streaming softwares. I pay for all of the software to have the, you know, best versions of everything that I possibly can have. I think you guys seen my setup before. I have the new setup where I really have not spared any expenses to try to have the best trading and streaming setup. And we still deal with issues, man. Still deal with issues. So I wish I could say I could do more. I could figure out something to prevent that from happening, but I genuinely don't know what it could be. So anyway, I'm sitting in front of, if you guys want to go on my IG, I'm sitting in front of a brand new desk with all of the best quality everything, audio, and two Samsung 49-inch G9s on the bottom, and then 32-inch screens up top. Lighting. I try to control everything in this room. Also, just so you know, this is the God's honest truth, I have a mini split AC unit that is just for this day trading office that I've built, not built myself, but paid to have built separate. I have an air purifier in here that filters so there's no dust, and I have a dedicated dehumidifier, even though the AC has one, just so I can really control the climate, make sure that that doesn't mess anything up. I have fans on everything. I have fans underneath my MacBook Pro. I have a dedicated fan underneath the dock that connects everything. I don't know. I don't know what else I could do. Insane. Absolutely insane. So I don't think much will be able to solve that, but maybe you got to try new software to stream through. So it's the only thing I can think of is the connection. But anyway, let's talk markets, guys. I'm gonna try not to lose it today. This is super frustrating. Obviously, I left that trade on running. Maybe you saw it towards the end of the live set, like that first piece. I had to physically restart. I had to leave the room. When I have to completely shut everything off and then not be on my phone and go and check connections and everything, I've left stuff on before, and it's kind of a stupid thing to do, right? You could just leave your take profit and stop loss in, but I like to manage my trades with some discretion. If I can't do that and I'm in profit, I could go stop loss to break even. I could do something random. Closed out of this one, and of course it's continuing to move in my direction. So I'm plus $400. I don't like to complain about, you know, making money. We'll see how, you know, if this does continue below VWAP. But super frustrating, you know, really frustrating. It's part of it. You guys are going to deal with it, even if you're not streaming, right? You know, if you're just trading, you're eventually going to deal with a platform issue, a program issue, something that's going to mess with you. You know, you can decide how to handle that. I'm trying to get better at closing out trades when that stuff starts to happen. Sometimes I just leave it running, which I'm going to wish I did today. I got a feeling. I already wish I did, because this would have been showing me almost $1,000 in profit. But frustrating nonetheless. We'll talk about this trade. We'll talk about the markets in a minute. It's just super, you know, in general, when this stuff happens, guys, I'll tell you something else, because you can even hear it probably from me, right? I would just go touch grass, right? If I didn't have some responsibility to be on here and be streaming and sharing and creating content the way that I do, I would probably just close it down and just go, you know, go on a drive, or, you know, go handle something else, go work on different businesses, go to the gym, you know, go be with family, like go do something different, right? Go do a sport. Because now you're like already off, right? You know, the frustration's already there. Your emotion is heightened, right? You know, your response is heightened because now you're pissed off. They have to watch a trade run in profit because of a tech issue. So it's almost always better to just close out and then go do something different completely. I'm going to hang out with you guys. I'm going to watch this beautiful trade play out. I don't regret making the decision that I made in the moment. Hindsight 2020, of course. You know, leave the trade on, but beautiful short play here. I really can't complain about this one. This was the level we had marked out. You go back and watch the beginning part of this stream, the one that's not connected to this. Short from exactly this level. Actually, from 1 point higher. Short 1 mini from the 793s. Here was the exact original stop loss order. Closed out at plus 380 something, 4 something. P&L was flashing that when I hit the close all button. Beautiful, man. Beautiful move. Right back to VWAP. YM working so nicely. I just can't capitalize on it for the life of me this week. There's something standing in my way, and it always feels that way. It's not always that way. Maybe I could display it with you guys. I'd really be looking for yesterday's volume point of control, but there's my $1,000 right there. There's a take profit on the beautiful 1,000 over a 1-to-1 risk to reward right there. So frustrating, man. Super frustrating that I got to close out up here. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe we'll hop over to NQ. Maybe we'll hang out. Maybe we'll give some accounts away. I don't know. I'll see what we're feeling. Glad to be back up with you. Obviously, tech issues, not your guys' problem. I don't mean to sound like I'm bitching and complaining while I'm bitching and complaining, but I think maybe that could be relatable. Maybe this can be, something that we all deal with, right? Sometimes Project X is going to get jacked up. Tradeovate's going to get jacked up. A copy trader. I want to see if we hit this yesterday's volume point of control. Sometimes something's going to get messed up, right? Maybe that's relatable in a sense that, you guys can relate to that. Again, for the most part, what I would say to do is, if you're in that situation, close out of everything and then leave. You're not going to be in the right headspace to continue on for the most part. Curious to see what that looks like today. Anyway, beautiful trade. I really can't complain. Good execution. I'm really happy with the level that I waited for. We did wick above. Definitely had to take a little bit of heat on that bad boy. But I like this. Really like this. Risk structure was clean up above these highs. Right off of this, resistance area, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Really, really clean. Good execution as far as entries. Just not able to hang on to it through tech issues. I don't know. Maybe I'll start going stop loss to break even and set a take profit and stop loss and just let it rip. I'm not sure in the future, but that's what we got for today, guys. I want to see if this continues lower. ES and NQ were selling off harshly. They really continue to do that. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna stop complaining, right? Money in the live account, more money hitting the bank today. Like, I'm gonna try not to be too out of touch here. Gonna try not to be too out of touch. 1,000% understandable. There are gonna be days when things suck. As a friend of mine says, just keep rowing. Yep. $300 in 5 minutes sounds pretty dope. Yeah, listen, guys. Listen. Brad, Finn Futures. Thank you, bro. Let me stay grounded and realistic here. I used to have to work a long period of time for $300. Okay. That's 380 something, 400 something, less an 80-20 profit split. I will have $300 in my checking account today, right? This is a prop firm live account. This is not an eval. This is not even a funded account. This is a prop firm live account that's in profit or at break even, now in profit, that I'm able to withdraw from with no consistency rule and daily payouts. And that means that $400 less 20% would be, right around that $300. What's $400? Am I retarded? Excuse me. I mean to say that word, but just frustrated. Yeah, $320. So right around $300 in my bank account. It's hard to complain about that. It's hard to be mad about that. And I think it's important to stay grounded. It is frustrating because trading is a numbers game. We do need to have some consistency, and clipping a really good trade early because of an external factor is showing me right now that that's working against me. This should have easily been a $1,000, right? In the green, getting pulled out of this account. And you do need those wins to account for tomorrow when I get short and I take a $1,000 loss in 3 minutes, right? Because I have that stop loss on. So, there's still some frustration there. But as a whole, man, you should try to be grateful and not be unhappy with profit. Profit's profit. Let's see if we can bounce back from the chaos this morning. Some days we win the P&L battle. Some days we win the psychology battle. Yep. If this happened to me, I would just shut down the charts and go do something else. Haha. Yep. Yeah, I talked about that, right? Absolutely. Would be nice YouTube video reviewing the setup. Sure. Bro is on a spaceship. Nice. Yeah. Can't live with it. Can't kill it. Today's stream is like yesterday's duck race. Yeah, dude. Holy hell. Live for about 5 minutes. Tech can't live with it. Yeah, can't live without it. Yep. Tech is a B word. It is. What's up, guys? Yeah, it is wild sometimes. It is wild. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do, man. Kind of just watching this thing now, you know, again, I'd say I would have been covering right now, right? You know, at very best, I said down into VWAP, down into the zone. I'm interested to see, you know, what this would look like right down to this area of high volume. But I'd say, you know, had I not had tech problems today, I'm gonna say I probably would have grabbed about $1,000, 200 points on this trade. I don't know that I would have been, you know, extra greedy to go for the 275 or so. But I think a pretty comfortable take profit would be right into yesterday's volume point of control, right into the top end of this area of high volume. So, you know, that's the 200 point level right there, right? Which is a 1-to-1 on the stop. I don't trade a fixed risk reward that way, but I am, you know, aware of it. And there's yesterday's volume point of control for a beautiful, you know, 260 some odd points. Absolutely beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. So again, you know, what I also try to come back to, you know, how am I reading the market, right? You know, there's always going to be another day. There's always going to be tomorrow. The market's not going anywhere, despite, you know, what everybody says. It's been here for quite a while. It's probably going to be here for quite a while. Market's not going anywhere. You know, how are you reading the market? How is what you're doing lining up? Even if you have something that gets jacked up, you get really close to an entry, but you miss it because you're distracted. You get, you know, you get into the good trade, the beautiful 300-point banger, and, you know, tech issues, and you decide to close out because you got to go step away and shut everything off and go turn, you know, internet on and off. You know, does the trade play out beautifully? Yeah, I would be, you know, I'm happier, honestly. I think here's another sign of a mature trader, right? I'm happier seeing this. You know, it's frustrating, right? At its core, it's frustrating. I'm happier seeing this than I am watching, you know, me close out and it revert right back and just rip my face off to the upside, right? I am genuinely deep down happier knowing that my read of the market's good. The movement that I'm trying to capitalize on, at least for today, is good, right? You know, this management would have played out really, really nicely to the downside. Beautiful selling pressure, right? You know, I'm happier seeing that, even though it does cause that internal frustration, rather than, well, you got lucky because you had a tech issue and you did something that you wouldn't do on any other day and you closed out for $400 and then the thing, you know, rips your face off to the upside, right? You know, I am happier seeing this play out. Of course, it causes frustration. Of course, you know, it's difficult to watch, but, you know, that's part of the game. So, YM's really been moving nicely, man. Really been moving nicely. I've had, to the person that talked about it, you know, I reviewed this. So go back to the beginning. You know, live trading, I don't have to really review it if I'm doing it live with you guys. You could see exactly why I drew this here and exactly why I put my marker at 49,800s, how I waited, when I entered, you know, and what I was looking at to the downside, right? Now we're just watching. Now everything is hindsight, you know, whatever, to watch this thing come lower. Big rollover out of this market. But yeah, we could review just real quick on you know, on YM, what I think would be really, really nice, right? Yesterday really didn't give me too much. This was really close. Was watching this one. This was really close. Just didn't give me a sweep of prior day low and to move down into this area, like the 730s I think I was watching. But here's that mean reversion trade. This is 9:30 a.m. We sell off, a buy into that weakness for a pop back up through VWAP. Really, really nice. Same thing over here, man. You know, look at Friday's high on Monday. What do we do on YM? We pop to the upside, get, you know, almost swept this. So I was saying on I think on Tuesday that I don't know that I would have been in this, but you know, here's that same movement playing out really, really beautifully, right? Does that always happen? Of course not. Of course not. You know, but you can take a look and see this pattern, right? Here's Monday, right? Excuse me. Here's Friday. 9:30 a.m., what do? We're selling off. We dump lower 9:30 and then, you know, sweep Thursday's low, right? This is kind of the move that I was looking for on Tuesday. You know, sweep this low, and then what do? We pop right back up through VWAP, pop back up to yesterday's volume point of control, right? You know, does it always happen? Of course not. Let's find a day where we don't get that clean setup. This was pretty choppy. You know, we did sell off and then pop back up, so, you know, technically that could have provided a W if for some reason you were getting... Yeah, actually, no, look at that. We swept Wednesday's low on Thursday, and we popped right back up towards Wednesday's volume point of control. 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday. Yeah, it's just this move has been playing out over and over and over again. We dump, and then what do? We pop right back up to the upside, right? This is probably 9:30 right here. Big crack to the upside, and then reversion, right? You know, this is a really good demonstration of my trading setup playing out. I really wish I could have capitalized on a lot more of these movements better, honestly. I'm looking at it in hindsight, of course, and I wish I could have capitalized on some of these a little bit more aggressively. But there will be days, let me go and find one. There will be days where this doesn't happen, right? Where we pump at 9:30 and we don't come back down. We take off, right? And that's the days you get cooked. So let me see if I can find one. Technically we did it there. We popped to the upside and we came lower. Oh, let me find a day where we just take off in one direction. This, right here, right? Yeah, so here we go. And I was short this day. I specifically remember this, right? 9:30 a.m., we pop to the upside, right? I'm getting short for that same movement. What happens? We just go in one direction, right? So, you know, nothing works like, you know, nothing works even close to 100%. You know, nothing is going to provide you some insane edge, but you can capitalize on some basic movements, right? Outside of just, you know, what I'm talking about, that movement to the upside and then downside, or the downside and upside, that mean reversion, reversal play near the open on YM, you got to trade off some levels. I mean, you don't have to do anything, but I try to trade off some levels. I try to trade off of key areas of interest, right? Prior day high and low, pre-market high and low, you know, volume points of controls coming off a volume profile, just basic support and resistance areas, right? This is gnarly, man. What a movement to the downside. What a beautiful movement to the downside. Oh. Chat, how we doing today? You guys making money? You getting cooked? Zach, we doing on shorts? Yeah. Go back to watch the beginning live. I won't repeat the whole tech issue. Do you buy the real-time subscription on TradingView? You don't need to if you connect a prop account that provides you real-time data. You don't need to if you have a prop account that provides you with real-time data. Sucks. Bad. TradeAvate bugged on me today. Lost my account. TradeAvate bugged on you, Rob. TradeAvate bugged on you. Keep me updated on that, man. Shoot me a DM. I'm happy to talk about what happened. Got cooked trying to catch reversal. I feel that. This is nasty, man. Selling off aggressively. We are over 500 points off the high. We are, of course, 475 points from the entry from where I got short. Oh, chat, man. Chat. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? NQ selling off aggressively, man. Aggressively selling off. Ripping faces off to the downside. ES. Oof. This is looking tough, guys. We going to find buyers like right here, or are we going to keep going? This is looking pretty nasty, guys. I would be cautious here. Are we just going to continue this disgusting chop that we've seen on ES, or is this something more? Oof. Completely erasing the movement out of yesterday and the day before. We were popping to the upside, really aggressive into the close with NVIDIA earnings. gap down and then opening up to the downside and just dumping, man. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 500 points down on, down since the high. Opening candle here. We are almost 2,000 ticks, 436 points to the downside. This is pretty nasty, chat. This is pretty gnarly. Wait to join a pullback. Yes, buyers will join soon. Okay. I'm not looking along this just yet. We'll see. We'll see. Let it burn. Sucks at the 9 to 5. Observing all the action. I can hear. Well, I can't trade. I got you. Took a very scalpy short. Now switching. I had held. I hear that. Got Cook trying to catch a reversal. Nice. Ugh. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I'm hanging out. One trade off the open. If you guys hopped on late, I see we got a bunch of people hopping on. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. Had some tech issues. Always frustrating. Kobe, what's up? And Kobe and Jess on Kick and everybody else on Kick. And X, what's happening? Welcome back. Appreciate you guys hopping back on. Tech issues. I got short with exactly this right here. 1 mini. You can go back and watch it live in real time. We don't play the hindsight game here. Short from 49,793. Waited for the 49,800s to get hit. This was the original stop loss. Tech issues. Tech issues got me out nice and early. Closed myself out, of course, on a day where it would have been an absolute banger trade. Like I said, I definitely would not be holding on for, you know, an insane, you know, movement like this. 3-to-1 risk to reward on a nice wide stop. Something in here at best. Here's the 1-to-1, 200 points to the downside for a little over $1,000, or let's call it a little over $1,000, like right there, right into VWAP. I think that probably would have been my entry, my exit. I try to be honest. I don't go, oh, look at how good this is, right? Today, if I didn't have tech issues, you see, guys, I would have put up $2,500, right? Probably not, right? I think that'd be pretty sweet, somewhere in here. But frustrating nonetheless. Good read, beautiful play. YM's really been working nicely. It's been a little bit tricky. Some of the stuff has just not been the overshoot that I look for, like that really aggressive, you know, over-exaggerated movement. It's kind of like right near prior day high or low. But I did say today I wanted to get it a little bit more aggressive. I'm happy with that execution. Not waiting too long, not waiting for a big push up for that even better entry. You know, wide enough stop loss to handle a little bit of heat. And then a really nice rejection back down. But today, that's where we're at. I'm going to watch this for a little bit longer. We're coming up on initial balance. I don't know that I'm going to get a follow-up trade on this. I'm probably just going to say, hey, you know what? Like somebody said, let me close up the charts. And, you know, if this happened to me, I would just close up the charts and go do something else. You know, what will I do instead of that? Close out the trade in the Prop Firm Live account, right? That I'm trying to hold on to, that I care about. Take a payout, say $300 in the, you know, in the bank account. Cool. It's not 1,000. It's not 2,500. Probably wouldn't have caught that anyway, but move over to an eval or something. You know, move over to some funded accounts. You know, that I'm not too worried about. Right? Trade those aggressively. You know, with more risk. Oh well, don't you hate when you go short off the open and close for 100? Now we're 200 points later. Morning, gang. Mike, it's a good thought, man. The question is that what you're gonna do every day? Right? Are you gonna hold for this movement every day? You know? Because this doesn't happen often. Right? This is not the norm. So the question is, you know, if you get short here, and this is where you closed out, right? 115 points. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, right? Are you gonna hold every day for that? Are you gonna hold for 400 points every day? Because for the most part, you know, that's not going to play out, right? Go and drag that stop loss and take profit around, you know, for all the other days. And for the most part, like, you're probably not going to grab that, you know? It's not to say that that's not profitable. It's not to say that maybe the big winning day today will, you know, will cover the losses. But the question is like, what's your game plan? What's your game plan more often than not, right? If I'm going to get short and hold for, a 3-to-1, 3.5-to-1 risk to reward every day, I'm going to lose most trades. I'm not going to capture that. I'm going to have a lot of trades that move, 1-to-1 and then back to stop me out. Maybe you find that, hey, that one big banger day that comes around, is enough for me to grab enough profit on to cover those losses, to allow the thing to come back and forth. But, you kind of have to pre-plan that. You have to pre-plan that, right? Some guys are going to be more of the base hitter. They're going to be more of the scalpy in and out quickly, closer to a 1-to-1 negative risk reward. Some guys are going to be more of the home run hitter, right? Hold the trade a lot longer. Wider take profit, right? Positive risk to reward. They're going to take a really low win rate in favor of a higher risk to reward. But you're not usually going to have both. It's just not available. The edge is not there to have an 80% win rate and a 5-to-1 risk to reward. I just don't know anybody that has anything close to that, over a long period of time. I think there's plenty of traders with an 80+% win rate that run on average a loser that's bigger than their winner, right? I know there's plenty of traders that do have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-to-1 risk to rewards, right? But they're typically running a pretty abysmal win rate. They're going to lose 8 out of 10 trades, and then those 2 are going to cover all of the 8 losses and then a whole bunch more, right? They're going to lose, win, and that win is going to be a really big trade. They're going to scale in heavy, right? They're going to hold it all damn day. They're going to have these massive P&Ls, right? But behind that is a lot of small losses. So you got to kind of decide what side of the fence you're going to, be on. Maybe you're more balanced. You're around that 1-to-1, a little over that 50%, a little positive on a risk to reward. Maybe you're not at one of those extremes, but we oftentimes as traders will go, damn, look at how much the market moved if I just didn't close the trade. Well, what happened yesterday? You closed the trade and then it chopped around. Okay, the day before you closed the trade, it chopped around, right? So you're going to try to capitalize on something that does not happen as often. Positive risk to reward, lower win rate. You're going to try to capitalize on a movement that happens more often but doesn't provide, as much profit relative to your risk. Higher win rate, lower risk to reward. Not one inherently better than the other. Depends on you, your personality, where you're entering and exiting the market, your overall trading style, right? Where you're attempting to capture these movements. All of that should come into play to decide, how you manage your trades and how you structure them. But it's easy to say that. It's always easy to say that. And I used to think that all the time, right? When we would be in choppy conditions, my dumb brain immediately would go hindsight bias. Okay, just close out. Just close out as soon as you're in profit. Close out for $100, even though you're risking $500, right? Oh, look at how great that works. Then all of a sudden we start ripping. We start trending. And I go, oh my God, dude. If you just never close, you'll be a millionaire. Just never close. All you have to do is hold all day. Just never close your trades. And of course, what happens? You start to chop. They go in profit and come back on you. There's nothing that's going to work every single day perfectly. That's not the goal. What's going to work best for you over time, on average, and then continue to review and adjust. That's kind of the iterative process. I don't trust NQ for more than a candle. Yeah, I hear that. Most important thing is to take profits when you can instead of trying to hold forever. You probably will adjust your SL to the previous TP. I don't know what that means. Yeah, again, there's not a one-size-fits-all for this. That's what I believe. There's not a one-size-fits-all for this. Right, you're going to see a lot of different traders do a lot of different things successfully and many unsuccessfully. Try to find something that makes sense and work for you. One of the most difficult things, I talk a lot about this. I do talk a lot about this. I do reviews about this in my own trading because it's the one area that I feel I could always improve on. I have so much room for improvement, right? Like you start to get a good read of technical analysis, right? Maybe you guys watch me trade. And you say he's been getting cooked on NQ that he keeps coming back to for some godforsaken reason, but he's got a pretty good read on YM, and that seems to work well for him. He makes some money. He's been in live accounts for a long period of time. He's taking payouts nonstop. Okay, great. When I review my data and I plot my trades on the chart, it's really easy to see where you can improve, right? It's really easy to see how you could have managed those trades a lot better, you know, where there is this fine balance between holding indefinitely and never closing and never moving stop loss to break even, and the opposite, closing way too quickly and going stop loss to break even way too quickly. There's this fine line that we try to toe. But here's the process of that, guys. Like, how do you get better at that? If you're discretionary the way that I am, review. Every once in a while, end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, right? Throw your trades on the chart. Go back through your trades. If you trade live like me, you could watch everything in real time and you could watch your face and whatever you're saying. And sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's really frustrating. You feel like you're in Interstellar and you're like, don't do that, please, because you know what's going to happen next. Plot your trades on the chart and you'll notice stuff. Right? It'll be really obvious to you. And I know this seems simple, but I guarantee you, 9 out of 10 traders are not doing this. They don't do this. They never do it. And they wonder why they're not making money, right? You know, here's the sauce, guys. Here's the crazy sauce. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you know you need to do. Throw your trades back on the chart, right? For your trading day. Maybe you trade more than once or twice a day, and this takes a long time. Get a cup of coffee on a Sunday and go and do this, okay? What happens during your trades? Are you finding that you're getting stopped out constantly and then price moves in the direction of your trade? Maybe you want to widen out stop losses a little bit. Maybe you say, if I was 10 points wider all week, I would have had 5 more winners and 5 of them still would have been losses because price moved against me. Maybe you got to widen out a little bit. What happens on your winning trades? Maybe you say, hey, dude, every time I close out for 200 points, 8 out of 10 times, price moves another 100 points in my favor. 2 out of 10, it only moved to 200. 8 out of 10, you know, it moved to 300. Maybe you want to stop closing so damn early, right? What happens on the trades where you move to stop loss to break even, right? You know, go through. And for the most part, you will have standout stuff. You will have blatantly obvious areas for improvement where you go, holy hell, dude, I'm closing my trades way too early. Or I'm running a stop loss that's way too tight. I'm going stop loss to break even way too quickly. Or the opposite, because some traders are on that other end of the spectrum, right? I've talked to guys, I've worked with guys that are greedy traders. They go, damn, dude, this showed me such good profit and I can't close my trades. I got to start closing my trades. I'm holding them way too long. They're going in profit and keep coming back on me. All the way profit back on me. Close your trades, right? Tighten up on take profits. Run a fixed take profit. But that's the process of improving trade management, right? Go back through and review and then adjust to that data in small increments. Don't do something too drastic. I've done that repeatedly. I review and I go smack myself in the face. Okay, now we're doing something very different. That's not great. Now you're completely skewing everything. Try to apply some consistency. Try to do a little bit more of what's working and a little bit less of what's not, right? Identify your weak points, your Achilles heel, and then do the opposite of that. You know, it's easier said than done. That's why almost nobody makes money trading, but that's the process. But the problem is most traders don't do that at all. They really don't. They're not attempting to improve. They just keep hammering it, doing the same thing. They suffer some positive variance. They feel great. They suffer some negative variance. They feel upset, but they're not, you know, reviewing and improving. They're not really, you know, building out that discretion and edge through risk management and trade management, right? So I hope that helps a little bit, guys. That's the sauce. Like that, like after you get through the basics of developing some kind of a consistent approach to the market, a strategy, if you will. I don't even like to use the word strategy because I'm so discretionary, but a basic approach. Then you have to start tracking and you have to say, what's working, what's not working? Because for the most part, it's not going to work. You're not going to have an edge. And if you're not tracking and reviewing, you don't know what's not working, right? That you need to improve on. Then you go, okay, here's what seems to work really well. When I go back through and I look at the market and I review my trades relative to what happened in the market, right? Here's where I'm entering too early. I'm exiting too early, right? I'm holding trades too long. I'm not holding them long enough. All of these things. You can kind of continue to review. For the most part, it's the obvious stuff. It's the stuff that everybody does wrong. It's the stuff that's hard to do. You can start there because that's pretty much almost always going to be the case. You know, almost. You might be the exception. Everybody's a little bit different. But lean into that. Lean into that. I tried to do that myself. I really do. And, you know, it's a balance between over-optimizing for hindsight and never changing and never improving once you get something that starts to work, because you do want to apply a lot of consistency. But I encourage all of you to do that. If you're not, that's like the baseline. That's the minimum. If you're not doing that on a regular basis, just roughly reviewing, I don't think you stand a chance long term at all. I think you can get lucky, and then you go sideways, right? So, I hope that helps. A little bit of sauce for you guys. Chat. As we're watching this market move around, I'll answer some questions. Feel free to throw them in. I'm watching YM move around. I don't know, man. Maybe I hop on NQ. I'm trying to figure if there's anything else for me on YM here. I'll figure it with you guys. Blew the funded 1 day from payout. Nate! Oh, Nate! Nate, bro. I'm gonna send you a voice message, bro. Needed the payout. Missed my entry. Chased the shorts. Tried to get long bounce. Hate myself today. Really, really stressed about it. I'm sorry to hear it, bro. I hesitate on my accounts. Buyers are in. That's hard, man. Did something similar. Come back strong, champ. I blew my eval 1500 up today. Mike! Took a breath, reset, half past another. Early trades seemed to go wrong for me. It's the art of trading. My top step practice shows another me. I didn't trade till 10 minutes. Yep. You guys have the conversation down. You don't even need me to say it. 17K this month in the 150K practice. Yep. Yet never had a payout. Yeah, I wanted the shorts ES 65 and missed it. Would have been my biggest day easily. I'm trading under extreme financial pressure right now, and it's stupid but I've blown the past 2 days because of it. I have 1 XFA with 100 drawdown and 3 combines. Yeah, guys, I'm just reading the chat because this is going to be a really good conversation. Well, I have put a lot at stake, and it doesn't seem to be paying for me at all. Yep. Guys, number one problem is not selling it. Chased it. My trade completely changed once I got it. Yeah. Okay, guys. You don't even need me for this conversation. You really don't. First off, Mike and Nate, I always start by saying I'm sorry to hear it, bro. I hate to hear it. I had so many frustrating days, and they're tough, dude. They're tough, and I try to empathize with it first and say it sucks. It sucks. Both of you know exactly why you had the bad day. And as tough as this is, because I'm not just going to say it sucks and I'll try to pat you on the back, you know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to do. It's just a matter of doing it, man. Number one, for Mike, there's an obvious difference between your psychology in demo and your psychology with risk on the line, right? It's just that psychology piece that everybody deals with. I don't know why there's a thumbs up on my screen. Nate, you laid it out. Needed the payout, right? Chased it. Trading under extreme financial pressure is stupid. I've blown it the last 2 days because of it. You can't trade, bro. You got to come off of it. You have to slow way down. You're putting again, I'm not a financial advisor. Let me back this up. I'm an idiot, guys. I'm an idiot on YouTube, okay? I can only speak to my own experience, which is, whatever you guys decide for yourself based on my live training. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do is financial advice or a suggestion or recommendation to do anything, okay? This is all for entertainment purposes only, so I'm speaking for entertainment purposes only. Nate, and Nate's been here for a long period of time, guys. For those of you that don't know, he's been in my community. He shared the downs like he's sharing today. I always appreciate it. And then he has shared max payouts. This dude has taken max payouts, right? Mike also super transparent, sharing, a blow up, sharing huge payout, a huge profit, and I appreciate you guys for sharing transparently. It's something very few do. But you know exactly what you need to do. You guys, you got to slow down. You got to slow down, man. You're forcing it, and I talk about this a lot. I've talked about this a lot, guys. In my humble opinion, trading is so difficult, right? It becomes near impossible if you put your back against the wall, right? Who is going to trade? Who stands a chance to make money at something that almost nobody makes money at you? These two versions. Version number one, who is Nate, which is you're describing. extreme financial pressure, you need the payout, you have bills due, you have a family to take care of, you have things in your life, you know, that are outside of, you know, your immediate control, right? But just the facts are, you need that money. You do not have a good source of income coming outside. This is not money that you can stand to lose. Or the version of you with money in the bank, bills paid, car paid, everything paid, you have a steady source of income, and you're learning to trade, and you're using risk capital, money that you can stand to lose. It's already gone, right? You don't need the payouts. You don't need the money. This version at least stands a chance. And this is who you're up against. Version number 2, right? I'm not saying that everybody's fortunate enough to get themselves into this position, but I would be really, really, really cautious, and I would say don't even bother if you are in position number 1 until you can start to get yourself into position number 2. Because even in position number 2, as discouraging as this is, it's still almost impossible, okay? So, you know, I've seen it done. I've talked to guys that have done it back against the wall, trading to pay their bills and their mortgage. It's insane, dude. It's near impossible. The psychological stress that adds into something that is already so psychologically stressful and near impossible to manage with risk on the line, it becomes an insane feat. So, dude, Nate, you know, everybody else that's listening, dude, back off. Don't buy prop accounts. Don't trade live accounts. Like you gotta back off. You know, it sucks to say that, but that's the truth. You know, I put myself in some tight positions, right? You know, but never that. Never that. And whenever I was feeling that way, I would completely back off risk. You just do not, in my humble opinion, not that you don't stand a chance, but man, it makes it so much harder, guys. So, you know, that's where I would go with it. And guys, you know exactly what you need to do. I don't mean to repeat that, but a lot of you guys can trade. A lot of you guys can read the market. A lot of you guys can manage risk. You understand the mechanics of what we're doing here. You understand the psychology. You just can't get out of your own way. You know, and there's some different things you could do, but at a certain point, it comes down to, you know, recognizing these things, right? Becoming self-aware, aware of your situation, aware of your financial situation, your emotional situation, you know, your mindset, your energy, everything. I mean, like your physical energy, whether you're tired, you're hungover or something. And then having the discipline to go, I can't trade right now. I can't do it. I know I'm going to cook it. I don't stand a chance. It's either going to be a home run or a full blow. Don't put yourself in that situation, man. You know, we don't have a boss. Here's the tough part of trading. We don't have a boss. We don't have anybody that takes us off the desk. We don't have anybody here that sees us lose, you know, a quarter of all of our, you know, funded accounts or live accounts and go, you're done. Immediate lockout. Get the F off the desk. We don't have that. We have to be that for ourselves. So, man, you know, I'm sorry to hear it, guys. I'm sorry to hear it, but dude, if I'm in that situation, I can only speak for, you know, me. I'm done. You've proven to yourself over and over and over again, you know, that this is an issue, and so many people deal with that. So, guys, you know, pull yourself out of it. Don't keep digging a hole. You know, you're just not doing yourself a service, man. And I'm sorry to give some of that, you know, kind of like tough feedback, but I think it's really important. I think it's really important. And we all are going to deal with something, right? Maybe for you, I'm not even reading the chat. I'm just continuing on. Maybe it's not finances, right? Finances. Maybe you do have money, right? But there's other drivers, right? There's a limiting belief inside yourself. You don't feel that you're good enough. There's a religious implication. I didn't realize that this was really big for some people, where money is a bad thing. Money is a sin. The way that you make money is a sin, you know? Like it's really bad to have a lot of money. Maybe it's a family member or a friend that you're trying to prove to that you can trade. They told you you're never gonna make it and you're gonna fail and you're stupid for trying, and you know you've been struggling for a while, but that is always in your mind and you're pressing it and you keep losing it because you're trying to prove something to somebody else or yourself. All of these things can be absolute killers, dude. You gotta get yourself out of that situation through working another job, you know, completely just creating, you know, a different financial situation for yourself, meditating on where your limiting beliefs are and overcoming them without the trading result first. You have to. You can't wait for the market to give it to you. You know, some of this stuff, guys, is really tough, but I hope that some of this can help. Let me go to the bottom of the chat. I'm out of drawdown, and I am close to taking my first payout. And yes, I thought I'd ask your take on it. Scarcity mindset. Yeah, scarcity versus abundance mindset. Scarcity versus abundance. Guys, I don't like to be too of the, like, foo-foo, like, you know, talk about meditation, talk about prayer, talk about manifestation, talk about, bringing this stuff to life. But here's the God's honest truth. Here's the real truth. And I talk about this. Go watch my first podcast with Austin Silver. If you know what? I'm not even going to say it. Here's a good one. I'm not going to say a great one. It's my podcast, but hang on one second. I'm going to put this in chat. I've had this proven over and over and over again. Go and watch. I'm not going to find it, but go and watch the first podcast that I did. It's a futures trading podcast like a year or so ago. And I've told this same story a lot. I've had this proven to myself over and over and over again. Until you believe that you can achieve something without a shadow of a doubt, and that you have the confidence in your abilities to get it done, and that you are operating without outside pressure or outside lack of belief, you won't be able to do it. You just physically will not. Even if your abilities are there, your skill set is there, you will limit yourself. And I encourage you guys to reflect on that. I could tell you the 4-minute mile story. That's the story. You can just go watch the 4-minute mile story. I've had that 4-minute mile play out over and over and over again in my life, in trading, in motocross, in sports. And it really encompasses a lot of what we're talking about here. So Google that. Google the Roger Bannister 4-minute mile. You can go and watch my podcast. So anyway, man, let me read through some of this. Man, the emotional stuff is the game. I'm convinced that's why I haven't broken even yet, despite meditating, paying attention. Yeah. I'm in. We were talking about this. Best part of the $400 hit the lockout. I came here for accountability, so I bounced back with a $25K a month. Hell no, the struggle. Yeah, Nate, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the transparency, brother. If I could tell you anything, man, it'd be it's not your trading, it's not the right, the risk management, the strategy, the approach. It's the mindset, and it's the mindset driven through outside factors. So, dude, I would work on that as best you can, and I would take risk off. I would not trade. I would trade demo, or I wouldn't keep doing what you're doing until you can change that, and then I would slow it down. I would slow it way down. I would de-risk completely, and I would slow it way down. That's, you're pressing it for those payouts one day away. It's a problem, bro. Tom, you mind if I ask a question, Zach? Currently held 2 XFAs for 5 to 6 months, only been trading 8 months. But what I am asking is, holding them accounts for that long without taking a payout a bad thing? No. No, Tom, great question, man. First off, congrats if you've held on to accounts for that long. You are focusing on the skill set of trading rather than just taking payouts, right? No, absolutely not. In my humble opinion, it depends. It depends on how much, I talk about this a lot, depends on how much capital you have, depends on your skill set, right? I think that's awesome, dude. You're practicing. You're practicing with risk on the line. You're developing the skill set of trading. You're becoming a consistent trader. Great, dude. Keeping risk stupidly low while you do that is fantastic, man. I don't think that that's a bad thing, Out of drawdown and close to taking a payout. Congratulations, dude. I will trade up until a certain time and then log off and watch that stream. I don't want to miss my progress. Appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Sitting out is the hardest thing. Time your way ahead. Yeah, dude. It's fantastic. Again, we talked about this. Everybody's in a different spot. Approaching prop firms very differently. Approaching trading very differently. It depends on all these things. So, passed the first ever eval this morning. Appreciate it. We got a bunch of people hopping on. What's up, everybody? We're talking psychology, talking mindset. We had a couple guys in the chat that are OGs sharing, difficult days, difficult, cycles that they're in. So we're talking about that. Passed the first eval this morning. Beautiful. Took 5 months. Never traded futures before last October. Nice. Nice, dude. Take it slow. Keep it slow and low. Been doing this since September. Always been. Yeah. Good morning, sir. Yeah, working on getting other income. Here's Nate said working on getting other income to improve this. Right, tuition isn't cheap. I know. Yep. Yeah, you guys all had good insights. Yeah, guys, here's the going back to that first piece. I'll also say this. I used to idealize and romanticize full-time trading, right? The thought that, you can make a meaningful income from trading, but you quit everything else and you just trade, and like it's like a badge of honor, right? I think even if, first off, I think 95% of traders, even if they make all of their money from trading, or a majority of their money from trading, they make a meaningful income of trading, they will have outside sources of income. First off, it doesn't make sense logically not to. It doesn't take that long to trade. Once you are, develop the skill set to trade, you've gone through the years of losing, you start to break even, you start to make some money. It doesn't take that long. Number two, and equally more important, trading is a money multiplier, not a money printer, okay? You will always have a desire to scale. You'll always have a desire, if you're like me and probably most people here, to make more money trading, right? It takes more money to make more money trading. Scaling solely through trading prop firms or live accounts is a very long and tedious journey. If you can pump in outside sources of income by a W-2 job, a side hustle, real estate, investing, just, more traditional investing, anything that you do, right? Side hustle, W-2, not W-2, 1099, like whatever it is, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of the version of yourself, even if they traded exceptionally well, that doesn't do that. And then, like, last but probably most importantly, you will never trade better than when you don't have to worry about the money that you're trading with. Which is why, in almost every disclaimer, they say, trading's risky, most traders lose money, only trade with money that you could stand to lose, right? First off, because you're probably going to lose it. But from a mindset and psychology piece, right back to that conversation, right? Who is going to trade better? The version of you that has bills paid because you have a job, you have an outside source of income, you have multiple sources of income, which I do myself. Even after I left my W-2 job that I was at for years and years and years, or you saved a ton of money like I also did, years of worth of income to pay myself, or the version of you that is back against the wall trying to make it to the next prop firm payout. That version almost doesn't stand a chance. So, I don't mean to be disappointed about that. I don't mean to be discouraging about that. I think there's certainly exceptions to the rule. People can do, whatever they want to do, but put yourself in the best situation. This is the way that I always thought about it, guys. Give yourself an edge. This is a competitive endeavor, right? If I'm racing motocross, if I'm rock climbing, if I'm running marathons, I'm going to try to give myself an edge in every possible area that I can. The equipment that I use, the nutrition, the way that I'm sleeping, my hydration, my training, the sunglasses that I'm using, and then also my mindset, right? The goal that I'm setting, right? How I position myself in pacing and, running with a pacer, right? The same is true for trading. Find a way to get the best equipment, the best charting, the best software, right? Find a way to dedicate all of your time and focus and energy. But then your mindset, which we know is so important. How are you able to put yourself at an extreme advantage over people in the opposite situation? Have outside income, right? Have outside income. Again, trading is a money multiplier, not a money printer. Despite what the kids say, and I joke about it already, we're printing today, this and that. It's not a money printer, it's a money multiplier. It takes money to make money, and you have to risk that money to make money, okay? So, that's the thought process, right? Have a job. I think have a job, man. And again, I used to idealize getting to a point to call myself a full-time trader. I don't even do that because first off, I don't consider myself a full-time trader. Even though I primarily trade, I don't have my W-2. I left my job years ago, my career years ago to trade. Outside sources of income are a huge portion of this. And I think if you have to call yourself a full-time trader because you don't take a dollar from anywhere else versus maybe you work real estate on the back end, right? Maybe you have just different investments. Maybe you drive Uber or DoorDash. Maybe you work a W-2, multiple W-2s. You have a night gig. Maybe you create content the way that I do. You have partnerships and affiliates, right? Anything, literally anything. You will put yourself in such an advantage over the version of you that doesn't do that. So find a way to have outside sources of income. It's imperative. Trading is extremely non-linear. It is not a paycheck. It will never pay you like a paycheck. You will have months where you lose money. And when you're having months where you lose money, even if you have outside source, even if you have money saved up and you're a really great trader, it's a killer to try to work through that, man. So try to put yourself in that position. And also, if you are considering leaving your job or placing most of your weight on trading, you are an absolute psychopath if you don't have an enormous amount of money saved up to pay yourself, not trading capital, money to pay yourself, your bills as if you have a job. Oh, you're a crazy person if you don't do that. Before I left my job years ago, that's exactly what I did. I had made that plan with my wife, with my family for a long period of time as I was trading, as I built up trading capital, right? As I was doing all of that stuff. I also saved and put money into a dedicated account to pay myself a salary from my trading business because I knew I was going to, first off, I knew I wasn't experienced enough to generate a really consistent income the way that I wanted, and that I was going to have down months. And if I had a down month where I didn't make any money and I could pay myself thousands of dollars, bills covered, everything covered for like, a long period of time. I'm not talking about 6 months. I'm talking about a year, 2 years. You at least give yourself some runway. You at least give yourself some runway, right? But yeah, dude, don't be fooled by that stuff on social media, man. Don't be fooled by that stuff. And again, like, trading can be all encompassing. If you trade around the clock, it doesn't have to be. It's not that. If you're a hardworking person and you start to get, consistent at trading, really quickly you're going to get bored and you're going to look for, other stuff out there. Or you're not going to get bored, but you're going to say, this doesn't take me 24 hours a day. I can trade the open, even if you have no other, job at that time, for hours. There's a point of diminishing return, or you can swing trade. So anyway, not to go on a whole rant, but yeah, guys, put yourself in that position. Come to trading. Try to come to trading with money. If you don't have money, you can learn for free. You can trade on demo. It's great, man. It's a wonderful skill set to develop. There's no pressure. But this is never going to provide a paycheck like that. And if you put yourself in a position where you needed to provide a paycheck, it almost never will. Good conversations. We're hanging out. It's 11 o'clock. I'm watching YM. We took one trade, tech issues, but we're having good conversation. So we don't have to talk about it. Thank you, man. Yeah, absolutely. Brandon affiliate isn't as easy as y'all make it. I'm trying to launch my own brand, etc. No, not at all. Not at all. Did not. I in no way intend to say that. It's the stuff that I do is easy. Relative to like being a coal miner, I try not to joke. I try not to like compare hanging out and streaming on YouTube as being easy, but as being hard. But there's work and cost and stuff behind doing all of that. But again, man, decide what you like to do, and I think build out trading alongside of your main source of income, whatever your main source of income is. There's absolutely no reason to throw that away. Honestly, probably, if I could be honest, well, I don't know that I would have the same trajectory, so I'm happy that I did what I did. But I probably could have stayed longer. Probably could have stayed longer at the career that I was at and have just built out swing trading even more, rather than dive in the way that I did. But yeah. Anyway, don't quit your day job, guys. And if you do, find another day job. That's my 2 cents. Let's see. Good conversations. I appreciate you guys sharing, but yeah, Nate and Dwayne, to you guys specifically, slow down, guys. Slow down. Slow way down. Stop forcing it. Take risk off the line. Put yourself in different positions, and then focus on the mindset, the way that you're thinking about trading. You know that you need to do that already. It's very difficult to do. Use all of the tools that you possibly can to help with that. Risk management tools, especially if you're on Top Step. Maybe additional risk management tools with Trade-Evate, things like that. But you identify the issue, and then make a change. Otherwise, don't be frustrated when we continue to get the same results, right? You know, what's that definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results. You know, we fall into that. I was there for a long period of time in trading myself. Just take a look at NQ here, guys. Taking a look at volatility down here in the ATR. Aggressive sell-off, pop back up, 11:30 chop. Really just kind of sitting in a range for the last 20 minutes. Sitting in a little 45-point range. That'd be beautiful scalping opportunities right in there. But I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I want to press it today. Don't know that I really want to mess around. I'll be right back, guys. Not going anywhere just yet.
Anytime you remove a fence, the property I own was sacred. And these inviolable, it is the desacralization of all of these.
Back in action with you guys. All right, listen. We've been hanging out. I'm not gonna press it. Listen, I got a banger trade on that I executed well to start. I will give myself the out. I think I made the right decision at the time. As I was getting frustrated and had to stream went off, had to go and turn internet off, mess with everything to close out. This was my trade from the day. For anybody that missed it on the live session to start, was waiting for this pop to the upside. Beautiful short to the downside. Played really nicely. Few $100 in the live account. Gonna take another payout. Can't complain, right? Can't complain. Would have loved to capture some more of this and made it, you know, $1,000, $2,500 in an immediate payout hitting the bank today. But profit from live accounts pretty sweet. I'm happy to keep risk controlled and continue to hold on to this bad boy. Not exactly the same in sim accounts, but I was thinking about something else while I was outside. But a couple notes before we get ready to run a giveaway. Plot twist, guys. We're running giveaways. Number one, first and foremost, we got something big coming from Top 1 Futures. Chat. Guys, if you are interested in prop firm accounts in general, I think you are going to like to see what comes out on Monday, potentially Monday, from Top 1 Futures. If you want the earliest information possible, if you want to know about it before everybody else, hop in the 100% free trading Discord. I heard something about an eval model that was pretty fast to get through, that was pretty cheap, that had an end of day trailing drawdown in eval and then in funded. And then I heard something about daily payouts from the funded account. No consistency rule, no minimum trading days to payout, end of day trailing drawdown. I don't know, bro. They're talking crazy on this one. I think it's gonna be wild. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. Now, guys, I've shared as much as I possibly can. I'd have your eyes peeled for Monday. Hop in the Discord if you want the best information and the best deal, because you know I'm gonna have the hookup as soon as it launches. Remember, guys, trading's risky, like we're talking about here. Most traders don't make money with prop firms, with top one. Most players don't make money anywhere. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated. I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased by saying that I think this is going to be cool, right? Do your own research. Make your own decisions, as always. Code RDF is going to get you the best deal. If you want to check this out once it drops, I think it's going to be sick. I think it's going to be by far my favorite account. I think it's going to be one of the fastest and easiest ways to work towards a payout. I think it's going to be excellent for beginner traders working towards their first payouts, all the way to super advanced traders looking to scale, copy trade with daily payouts. We're going to have to see, guys. You're going to have to decide for yourself. if you want to check that out, link to the free Discord is in the community. Now. If you want details on it, hop in the Discord, go to the chat where I've yapped about it a little bit. I can't really answer too many more questions. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to get yelled at by somebody on their team. Also, as I am getting a giveaway form ready, next week, guys, just so you're aware, next week, live trading on Monday. I'm live with you guys tomorrow, live trading on Monday, and then I'm off the desk for the remainder of the week. Got some podcasts and interview stuff going on in Miami on Tuesday. We got a trader meetup in Fort Lauderdale on Tuesday night. And then we are down to Colombia with a bunch of the guys from Top 1, a bunch of big traders, a lot of guys from their team, their back end. Really, really cool. They're doing this trip. I'm super excited about it, making a whole bunch of content. We'll be trading from down there, which would be pretty cool. I don't have any scheduled streams. If I do something, I'll let you guys know in Discord. Maybe we run some giveaways. Maybe we do some cool stuff because we got something launching. You probably want to be in Discord for this one, guys. You're probably going to want to have notifications on if if maybe you want to get your chance to get your hands on some free stuff. So, in the meantime, we have a giveaway form live in chat. Now, everybody listen up. Use your ears, please. Okay? Use your ears. First off, read what's on the screen here. Okay? This is for one 50K Ignite instant funded account. Fill out the form. It's in the chat. It's in the Discord. Only fill it out one time. Okay? You gotta be here in the chat in 5-10 minutes when we run the duck race and somebody's announced. If you're not here in the chat, you have a 3-minute countdown after you win. If you're not here in the chat, you don't get the account. We run it again. And also, which I didn't think I had to say because the form is so clear, if you fill out the form incorrectly, which happened more times than I thought could possibly happen yesterday, as if you put a different name, you put a different email, you don't follow on Instagram, you put down a wrong Instagram account, whatever the basic shit is on the form, excuse my language, because it's so simple, guys, you don't win the account, okay? It upsets me, it makes me sad, it hurts my little heart when I have people that win the duck race that, like, didn't follow the instructions, right? You don't have to follow on Instagram, you don't have to do any of this stuff, you don't have to fill the form out, but don't waste your and my time and everybody else's time and upset yourself and me by not doing it correctly, right? Just don't fill it out if you're gonna do that, okay? Go like that. This is in place, been in place as of yesterday. No, not as of yesterday, but it's been in place. I'm gonna be like, I can't spend any more time on it. I constantly have issues trying to give these accounts away. I never thought it would be so hard to give away accounts to people. But if you put the wrong information down anywhere, okay? You fill the form out twice, you put the email the wrong way, your name is wrong on Top 1, it's a different email with Top 1, you know, I can't help you. I can't take any more time than I already do doing all these giveaways, okay? So make sure you do that, right? Like, obviously, if you have a Top 1 account, use your Top 1 email to put down on this form. Use your name that's on Top 1. Don't use a fake name. Don't use a different name. Don't put a random email down. If you're gonna put down on there, it says must be following on Instagram, make sure the account that you put down is following on Instagram, because I have to go and check real quick, okay? I hope this helps, guys. I don't want to be annoying about it, but I'm not going to repeat it after this. If you do the wrong thing on the form, you're not going to get the account. I thought that would be obvious, but apparently it's not. So anyway, about 5 minutes, get the form filled out, and we will run a giveaway. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys hopping on as always. I appreciate you. You guys being here. It's awesome to be able to give accounts away, to give back to the community. Right? I used to love giveaway accounts. I don't want to take them away at all, but we got to have some. We got to have some some rules here. Oh, almost exploded. Let's go. Purple Ninja. What the hell, bro? Neither of those two, Purple Ninja. First off, I'm a good Christian boy. We stay away from the devil's playgrounds. No, I'm married, guys. Those days are long gone. Be running around in all-inclusive in Colombia, having fun with a bunch of bros, and filming a bunch of content. 50K. Yeah. Got the right form up. At least your stream doesn't have a million people spamming the chat with a keyboard. This is so much better also, Ducks. Yeah, nice. Yesterday was crazy. It was. No, thank you. You guys are funny. Is Trade C coming to top 1? Yes, I believe so. Trade C is eventually going to come to top 1. Trade C eventually is going to come to top 1. When? I don't know exactly, Chef Trades. Trade C requires a rhythmic connection, I believe, and then also a connection to the prop firm itself through Trade C. But they are in conversation. They're in conversation. They are in conversation. So that's part of it. But guys, go ahead and get the account. Get the form filled out. We'll get this one rolling. We'll get somebody funded. I'm gonna give you guys another minute or two. Another minute or two. Form is in the chat. Follow the instructions, please, guys. Follow the instructions. Done. What does rhythmic connection mean? Rhythmic is a data feed. Rhythmic is a data feed. I don't know that Rhythmic is a broker itself, but it is a feed that top 1 would need instead of just like Tradeovate, NinjaTrader, TradingView. Different account, group of accounts. Done. Nice, Chef Trades. Nice. I did martingale and blow 3, but I made 6x in profit on the 4th one. Damn. Are you gonna rent Lambos for the content? Probably not. When I travel, but Mr. Rick, I always like to answer questions like truthfully. When I travel, I typically rent nice cars. Like if I'm going to travel, if I have like family down, for example, like when I was going down to the Keys, I was in a nice Mercedes. I'm also grateful enough to be driving a nice car nowadays. Follow on Instagram if you want some of the car content. I don't have to rent any nice cars if I drive one. But I also have a family member, a sister, who is been working for a rental car company for a very long period of time. So I also don't have to pay a lot, and I get all the car upgrades if I do want to rent anything. So I hope that answers the question, honestly. But no, I don't care to. I try to live my life, and honestly, in the past, I've not shared a lot about my life. Like I've really not shared any like of the personal stuff. Because I have a kind of cool life, in my humble, biased opinion. I travel to nice countries. I'm around nice stuff. But I never really wanted to be perceived as that person. I didn't want to do the whole lifestyle thing completely and look at all this stuff. And, you could have it too if you just trade a 50K prop account. It's not realistic. It's just not realistic, man. Right? It takes money to make money, like we talked about. It takes years in this game of losing money. It's just not, it's not realistic. But in the interest of just, being myself on socials, I am sharing, a whole bunch more now. You pretty much share everything, as far as what's going on, where I'm traveling, the cool stuff that I'm going, nice cars that I'm getting, nice stuff like that, right? But, I always try to talk about it, right? Like I was posting that Porsche. I talked for like 3 minutes on all of the shitty cars that I've driven all the way up until this point, and how doing that has allowed me to reinvest in my business, right? I talked about that, why material things are not just the most important things in your life. There's a whole lot more things. There's a whole lot of things that I would put more importantly over a rented Lambo or, a Porsche that you own, right? Maybe like being able to spend time with your family, being able to take your father down to the Keys on private fishing charters and, do a dream trip that you guys have dreamed about for a long period of time. Like I did, the week before that, and I was posting content from that. So, I think I try to just speak about, what I think is important, but without intentionally not showing, too much stuff. So anyway. All right, guys, giveaway time. Giveaway. Let's run it. We got the duck race. But we're talking about in-person stuff. We're talking about outside life, outside of the desk and trading. here's what I'm happy to talk to you guys about real quick. The forum's closed. I'm getting the duck race ready, but I'm going to throw this on the screen while I am talking to you guys. Because I like to be a normal, real human. And I love meeting people in person. I love talking about what this stuff really looks like in a way that I always wanted from other people and a lot of people didn't want to do. Where is the thing? There we go. All right. This is an old one. This is sold out, by the way, guys, just so you're aware. This is sold out. This is not showing Brian Shannon and like 2 other speakers that are on the list. But in Tampa, if you wanted, you missed this year for Tampa. If you wanted to come and hang out and chill in person and just know that it's, you know, not all rented Lambos and random a bunch of BS or, you know, whatever, I'd be more than happy to meet you guys in person. This is, I'm guest speaking at Austin Silver's ASFX Bootcamp in Tampa. It's done. You can't go to that one. But also, like half of these guys on Tuesday of next week will be in Fort Lauderdale after some stuff we got going on in Miami before the trip. And it's doing a meetup. Like, not anything big. It's not some event. There's no, like, speaking. It's free. It's just everybody can come and chill. So if you're in South Florida and you want to come and say what's up, come and say what's up. Shoot me a DM on any social. I'll get you the info. But that's Tuesday of next week. More than happy to say what's up to you guys. Let you know that we're chilling. There's also, if you want to go to what I've heard is a really awesome event. I'm not going to it. I just got so much other stuff going on. Traders for a Cause is in Miami this weekend. I will not be at that, but I would say if you want to get in person with a whole bunch of, you know, big traders, you know, software companies and stuff that are in the space, I think the in-person stuff is awesome, dude. I really do. I think it's sick. I would put it, you know, I would put it on your to-do list. Obviously, it costs money. Traveling costs money, right? We talked about money. Not everybody can do that. It's not 100% necessary. But there's nothing like getting in person. There's nothing like saying what's up to people, you know, meeting people, being able to speak openly, trading together, not just live trading like this, but actually sitting down together and trading, right? And, you know, talking about the markets. I think it's awesome, man. I gain so much from it. I take so much from those events as well. I learn so much from other people out there. You make these connections, you know, you leave with way more friends than you came with. It's epic, man. So I'd encourage you to come out to hang out with anything that I'm going to be at and go and check out other stuff. There was just a huge one in Hollywood, Florida, down here in South Florida. Max options trading. There was just there's a boatload of traders out there, a ton of firms. I think, you know, it's cool to see, really cool to see for the space. Good luck, guys. Nate, if you're in that situation, man, just shoot me a DM, man. Shoot me a DM, Nate, on IG. I'll figure something out with you, man. Can't wait for Tampa. Hella excited. Let's go. Yeah, Miss Venture Trading. Awesome. Yeah, Tampa's gonna be sick. We're looking forward to this boot camp. There we go. Gonna be a fun time. Awesome. Oh, we got a bunch of people going. Yo, wait a minute. Are you guys from my community, or were you originally from like Austin's or somebody else's on that to-do list? AJ and Miss Venture. Miss Venture, I think you're from ASFX originally. But let me know. Are you guys from somebody else's community, or were you originally from my community? Because I'm curious. I got a handful of people going out there from Team RDF, which would be cool. But let me know. Not that I care like either way, but I'm always curious to see who I should be. Who I should definitely be saying what's up to. Because I think there's like 100 traders going out there. And then there's like 15, you know, speakers. There's prop firms. There's, you know, representatives from companies going out there. It's going to be really cool. Good luck to all. Thanks for the stream today, man. Absolutely. Hey, guys, what's up? Which feed do you use for Bookmap? I use Bookmap data feed. I use Bookmap data. So for all of these, I have Bookmap. But I also do have Rhythmic for Bookmap. So either Bookmap data or Rhythmic. I think if I came over here, sorry to mess up the ducks, I could hit connections and this totally messes up my stream, but you can see Rhythmic as well. So I do have rhythmic. Whoa. Whoa, no. Get out of the way. Somebody's going to win. Sorry. Rhythmic and bookmap data seem to work equally well. Very redundant. You don't need to have 2 data feeds. That doesn't make any sense. Orb is king. Orb is cool. I first started with Austin's podcast. Awesome. Introduced me to Drysdale. Nice. Awesome. So you made the rounds. Let's see. Hansel Baron. Hansel and Gretel won today. Hold on one second. I'll come back to the chat. I'm here, Team RDF forever. Awesome. Dude, that's epic. I'm just like, I hope you can see it genuinely on my face. Like, I love meeting people in person. Like, this online stuff is super cool. But getting to, like, actually, like, you know, make a connection and, like, you know, see some of you guys and be able to hang out and, you know, talk and you know, learn from each other, get other people's perspectives, hear their stories. I love it, dude. It's awesome. I'm a social person. This stuff is hella isolating. All right, Hansel. Nobody go anywhere. Nobody go anywhere. Wait a minute. Hansel. Okay, let's see. Start taking bets. Did he follow the rules? Did he follow the rules? Did he fill the form out correctly? Hang on. Let's see. Let's see if we're going to have another one of these. Okay, first off, are you in chat? There he is. He is. We got to do. Hold on. We got to win. We got to win. Nobody go anywhere yet. Remember what happened. If you missed yesterday's duck race, we had multiple reruns because nobody could fill the damn form out the right way. Let's see. Let's see. Hang on. Good game, W. You gotta be chess move. You got a chance to make it big. Me? I'm already big in my mind. I've already made it big. I've had so much success in my life that I'm so grateful for. Everything else is now bonus. Nah, dude, we got big goals. Thank you. Hope I did not mess up from the form. Congrats, Hansel. Yeah, I'm joking around when I say that, man. I'm chilling. Where is he? Hansel Brand. Okay. Let's see. Did he follow on Instagram? Let's see. Come on, Hansel. Don't disappoint me now. I have so much faith in you guys. Sorry. This is taking me longer than it should. We just gotta build up some suspense. Let's see. I think so. I don't know, dude. What's your Instagram name? Nah, I'm at Hansel. Oh, there we go. Nah, you're here, right? You're here, bro. We're in. We got him. Hansel. Yeah, that's it. We got it. He's on. We got a W in the chat. Hansel Baron takes the W on this one, man. He's the winner of a 50K Ignite Instant Funded account. Thank you for following the instructions, guys. I'm so proud of you. Chat, you guys did so good today. You followed the instructions. I'm so proud of everybody that actually was able to enter and follow the instructions on this one. Great job, guys. Great job. It's going to come straight from Top 1 Futures to your email. Hopefully, you put all of the rest of the information down on there correctly, and we don't have to do a rerun tomorrow. I don't think that you did. I'm joking because we're coming off with so many people messing up yesterday. So, but no, guys. Just to review, that's the trade on the screen from this morning. I did not capitalize on that take profit. I got out before VWAP as I started to have tech issues. As you can see from the title of this, it says round 2. First one got cut off. You could see it get cut off as I was in the trade that I entered on the live with you. I did call out in Discord when I was getting out of this thing, unfortunately, because it did run all the way to the ground. Bounced right back up to VWAP, and now we're kind of just chilling. I'll probably get some scalping on NQ later into the afternoon, but I don't think I'm going to mess with YM. I'm just going to keep taking little payouts from this this live account and keep things rolling. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Thank you guys for being here. I'm psyched to see more of you guys live in person in Tampa. Maybe some of you guys in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be sweet, man. Gonna be sweet. But real quick, guys, before we get ready to hop off, remember, if you are not in the 100% free trading Discord and you want to hear about something major that's coming from Top 1 Futures, I think you probably want to hop in on this one. If you want the best deal once this launches, if you want the info, you probably want to hop in Discord on this one, guys. I think there's going to be something massive on Monday. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Appreciate you guys hopping on the stream. Thanks for being here. We'll be live with you guys tomorrow and Monday. No lives the rest of the week like we were talking about as well. See you guys tomorrow here at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Quick reminder. Monday, Mad Trader. Keep your eyes on Monday. Keep your eyes on Monday. And I'll be live talking about it if we get it on Monday. We'll be talking about it here on stream. I'll be displaying it. We'll be having some fun. Maybe we'll be giving some of it away. I don't know. We don't know what it is. Anyway, guys, appreciate you being here. Remember, trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Almost everybody that trades loses money, even in prop firm accounts. It's a crazy thing to do. Don't do it. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do. But for me to be transparent about that, for you to do your own research and make your own decisions. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Trade well the rest of the day. Thanks for hopping on through the tech.